Every organization has data, but not every organization is ready for AI. Being AI ready isn't just about having more data. It's about making more possible faster, smarter, and together. Microsoft Fabric brings it all under one roof. OneLake at the center. Open by design. Built for scale. From ingestion to insight. From governance to growth. This is what a modern data estate looks like. Resilient, scalable, governed by default, powered by a global community. The future isn't a single product. It's the platform that brings them all together and the people who bring it to life. So, welcome. Welcome to Microsoft Fabric Community Conference 2025. This is FabCon.
Please welcome to the stage Arun Ulag, Corporate Vice President of Azure Data.
Hey folks, good morning. I'm just so excited to be here. I'm Arun Ulag. I run the Azure Data team here at Microsoft. I'm really looking forward to spending the next few days with over 4,100 of our closest customers, partners, and community members right here at FabCon. Can you believe that FabCon Europe is now the largest conference that Microsoft actually runs in Europe? So we're really, really excited. We also know that this is a big investment of your time, and you're all really, really busy people. So we are so grateful that you chose to spend the time with us. We've also brought hundreds of the developers, architects, product managers, and designers that build Fabric right here so that they can talk to you, they can tell you what they're building, why they're building what they're building, and how it can make a difference. We also have hundreds of customers, partners, and community members, and it's a great opportunity to hear from them about their Fabric journey, how they're implementing, the success that they're seeing, as well as some of the choices that they've made in building out their architecture. Now, before I start, our CEO, Satya Nadella, asked to share a few of his thoughts, so let's roll the video.
Welcome to FabCon. It's fantastic to see this growing community come together here in Vienna. When it comes to AI, data is where it all starts. Fabric is the complete data and analytics platform for the AI era, spanning SQL, NoSQL, and analytics workloads. And OneLake brings together data across databases and clouds, including semantic models from PowerBI, giving you the best source of knowledge to ground your AI applications. The momentum speaks for itself. Fabric is already the fastest growing database product in Microsoft's history, now with over 25,000 customers. Leaders across industries, from the London Stock Exchange to Lumen Technologies to Siemens and so many more of you, are betting on Fabric as the data layer for their AI transformation. In fact, we at Microsoft are customer zero, running Fabric across all our operations. For example, our finance team has used Fabric to reduce time it takes to deliver key reporting by around 50%. And our partners like Databricks, Oracle, and Snowflake are integrating deeply with OneLake. This week, you'll hear about where we are headed next, including new relationship building and location building capabilities with Graph and Maps, expanded OneLake mirroring with shortcut support, and how we're making it easier for devs to use Fabric, and much, much more. We're just getting started, and we cannot wait to share more with you. With that, let me hand it over to you, Arun. Thank you, and have a great FabCon.
It's so great to hear from Satya. I can tell you his excitement is real because every week or two, he reaches out and he wants to know how Fabric is doing. It keeps us on our toes. Now, we all recognize that AI is rapidly changing the world, and it's no surprise to anyone here. But we also recognize that as data people, the AI is only as good as the data that it gets to work on. Because the best AI models, if you put garbage in, most likely you're going to get garbage out. So it's become incredibly important for customers to be able to get their data ready for AI. Now, most new applications and workloads that you're building today have AI components in them already. And if they don't, then you anticipate that they will have AI components in them in the near future. So therefore, we find the traditional distinctions between SQL databases, NoSQL databases, lakehouses, data warehouses, real-time databases, vector databases, etc., are blurring very quickly as most developers mix and match many of these capabilities in most new applications and workloads. So why should you have to string together 18 different products to get to business value? So the message we consistently get from customers is, please unify. I want to be the chief information officer. I don't want to be the chief integration officer. Help me translate AI into my competitive advantage. And that's exactly what we're doing with Microsoft Fabric. With Microsoft Fabric, you get an end-to-end data platform that helps you go from raw data to AI or BI value in the hands of your business users. Now, Fabric has a set of core workloads, and these are the boxes that you see on top. And these core workloads are purpose-built for specific personas, like a data scientist, a data engineer, a data warehousing professional, or a BI professional. But Fabric is not simply a bundle of products. We're lucky because here at Microsoft, we've been innovating in the data and AI space for well more than a decade. So we have a complete portfolio of products that have been built from the ground up at Microsoft. And it's not simply a mishmash of acquisitions that we have hurriedly cobbled together. And as a result, we've been able to do the deep engineering to bring everything together into a single unified platform. So if you work with Fabric, you'll notice that all of these products, all of these workloads have a unified experience, they have a unified architecture, and they have a unified business model. Now, each of the Fabric workloads are industry-leading in their specific categories. And don't just take my word for it. If you look at the Gartner Magic Quadrants, there are 4 Gartner Magic Quadrants that cover the data and AI space. There's the quadrant for data integration, cloud databases, artificial intelligence, and business intelligence. And you'll notice that Microsoft is the only vendor with a strong leadership position across all 4 of these Magic Quadrants. And the reason this matters to you is that by working with Fabric, you not only get all of the capabilities you need in an integrated end-to-end data and AI platform, but you also know that each of these workloads are best in class. So you don't have to make any compromises. Now, Fabric launched just over 22 months ago, and that's when it became generally available. And since GA, the momentum has been simply staggering. As Satya mentioned, Microsoft Fabric has over 25,000 paying customers pretty much in every country and every industry. And today, among these 25,000 customers, it includes over 80% of the Fortune 500. The world's largest companies are betting on Fabric. And because Fabric is a complete data platform, over 50% of Fabric customers use 3 or more workloads. For example, customers might use Data Factory to bring data into Fabric, and use either SQL or Spark to be able to transform the data, and Power BI for semantic models and visualization with all of the data living in OneLake. Now, there's literally dozens and dozens of customer case studies that are available today. I'd like to highlight a couple of examples of large enterprise customers in Europe who are betting big on Fabric. Now, I'm excited to introduce my first guest, Christian Meyer, Head of Platforms at Siemens, for a conversation of how Siemens is transforming their capabilities. Welcome, Christian. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Arun.
Hi. Excellent. So, Christian, welcome. How did you guys think about your analytics strategy at Siemens?
Well, first of all, Siemens always recognized the value of data. But the data was scattered across different tools and platforms. And this was why we needed to modernize and also harmonize our landscape. We wanted to simplify our ecosystem, but we also wanted to provide new capabilities. Yep. And that's why we created the Siemens Data in the iCloud. The Siemens Data in the iCloud is a global data mesh with data domains, with data products, and federated governance. We are working with semi-structured, unstructured, and structured data across 18 different domains, with data coming from Siemens systems, with customer data, but also third-party data. And this allows now the entire organization to work with high quality and trusted data across the entire organization.
That makes a ton of sense. You try to bring everything together, but it's a pretty major shift. What were you hoping to achieve with Microsoft Fabric and Power BI?
Our goal was to move from a fragmented system landscape to a single platform ecosystem. It made it easier to access any kind of data across the different solutions. And now also with open table formats like Iceberg, it's even easier right now to access any kind of data from different providers. With the end-to-end capabilities of Fabric, from integration, transformation, but also visualization, it enables now the entire organization to work seamlessly with the data. And now, of course, we can also share with any communities so that they can also benefit from the insights generated out of complex data.
That makes a ton of sense, Christian. So bringing everything together, the integrated capabilities make a ton of sense. Now, how does Power BI fit into your ecosystem?
For us, Power BI is like the front door to insights. It's in the meanwhile used by more than 150,000 employees around Siemens. It allows all business units to turn complex data assets into action-enabled insights. It is now much easier to share these insights across the different units, and this allows now all users and also smaller teams to work independently with the data in this ecosystem.
Wow, 150,000 users. That's lots of users on Power BI. And can you give me an example of the real-world impact that this has had for Siemens?
Absolutely. So one of the best examples I can share is from our data domain finance. So we migrated more than 1,000 users and thousands of reports from legacy BI and data platforms to Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. On the one hand side, we had operational efficiencies, but also financial efficiencies we have gained from it. And now it's much easier because reusable data products can be now made available to different kind of stakeholders. With our data mesh concept, we're enabling all our data domains to work independently. And this allows also, in a self-service way, smaller teams in regions to work on top of aggregated data on their use cases.
That makes a ton of sense. So you're really driving a data culture and getting everybody to collaborate on data. Now, as you deployed Fabric, what were some of the benefits or unexpected obstacles that you ran into?
One of the most benefits we're having from Microsoft Power BI and Fabric is the deep integration into the broader data and AI ecosystem. With the partnerships, for example, you also mentioned them, like Snowflake, we are benefiting from advanced features like mirroring to make the data available in the Fabric ecosystem. But of course, we also have seen some obstacles in our journey. So at Siemens, we love pushing the scalable boundaries of our partners. And one of the, let's say, challenges we have faced was pushing also Fabric to its compute limits. With the great collaboration, not just with Microsoft, with the product team, with the account team, and all the experts, we found a solution for it. We, on the one hand side, introduced the Fabric capacities, and we're also benefiting from advanced features like bursting and also smoothing to balance out the load across the different users.
That's really fantastic, Christian. So what's next for you and Siemens on your journey?
On the one hand side, we are exploring on how we can further evaluate and also scale up the real-time intelligence within Siemens. Not just within the already established bigger domains, but also within our factories. And of course, we're also seeing on how we can also further bring AI closer to data. So we're exploring right now with MCP, with agents, with all the generative AI capabilities of Fabric to see on how we can bring data and AI closer together to make them both more accessible, actionable, and insights. And that's just the beginning.
That is awesome, Christian. Thank you so much for joining us. It's exciting to see what you're doing at Siemens. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, transitioning over to another customer who's chosen Fabric to be their data platform of the future, we will talk about KPN, a leading telecommunications provider in the Netherlands. Please join me in welcoming Gijs, Chief Data and AI Officer at KPN. Welcome, Gijs. So good to see you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, Gijs. Excited. Can you give me a sense of what you've accomplished at KPN?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. We are really excited to share our story and how we integrated Fabric in our landscape.
So what was the core challenge at KPN that you were trying to solve with Fabric?
Well, we focused on transforming how we manage and activate data across the organization. The challenge was fragmentation. Data was siloed and hard to access. We needed a unified, scalable data exchange platform to empower our teams to make smarter decisions faster.
That makes a ton of sense. This data fragmentation problem is very, very common. And how did you approach this problem, and how did this lead to you selecting Microsoft Fabric? Tell us more.
Well, we had a very thorough exercise at KPN to decide on the technology. And you can imagine that so many people, so many opinions. So we first decided on either open source versus PaaS versus SaaS solutions. And we decided in the end to go for SaaS because the innovation comes off the shelf and it just works. Secondly, we needed to decide on a best-of-breed versus a best-of-suite solution. We chose Fabric as it's a best-of-suite, and we don't have to integrate that many different platforms, and it also fitted really well in our ecosystem.
That makes a ton of sense. So you chose Fabric because it's software as a service, and it is end-to-end and integrated, so you don't have to do it. Now, we've been working together for a while, Gijs. Can you tell me more about your partnership with Microsoft?
Absolutely. Microsoft has been a key partner for us in the design and the implementation phase. We have a great partnership with the team through the product groups to really co-develop and to hit our key milestones in our program.
That's great. And looking ahead, what's next for KPN's data and AI strategy?
Yeah, so we're now focused on migrating all the data and building the data products. We are also looking how we can accelerate AI for KPN in areas such as predictive maintenance, autonomous operations, and customer service.
And when you think about FabCon and all the folks that we have here, do you have any advice for the Fabric community?
Well, just this. I truly believe that data is the foundation for the success of AI. It's a strategic asset for every company. And so with the right tools, but also the mindset of the employees, anyone, any organization can turn data into value.
Thank you so much, Gijs, for sharing your story. It's really inspiring to see how KPN is leading the way in its data transformation. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you've just heard from two of our really large customers in Europe, but they're not alone. We have dozens and dozens of case studies for you to check out at aka.ms/Fabric featured customers. Now, when we talk about building the future of data and AI, it's not just about what Microsoft delivers, it's also about what our partners deliver on top of Fabric. Now, Fabric ISVs are at the heart of this innovation by extending Fabric to bring fantastic new capabilities that are deeply integrated into Fabric. And we're excited by the momentum of our ISV partner ecosystem. Today, 6 ISVs have their Fabric solutions that are becoming generally available, and 3 more partners who are launching their Fabric solutions in public preview. And there are a few partners in particular that I wanted to highlight: Lumel, Esri, and Snowflake. So let's start with Lumel. Lumel is reimagining enterprise performance management, the way you do planning, the way you do forecasting, by building the solution directly on Microsoft Fabric. So it brings together financial planning, forecasting, and reporting with AI-powered insights and collaborative decision-making. It's not just a fantastic EPM product, but all of your planning data is natively in OneLake for lots of additional use cases versus being locked in a separate silo for your planning tool. So now let's look at Esri. Esri is the world's largest geospatial company, and Esri is unlocking the power of location intelligence in Fabric with the general availability of Esri geospatial libraries in Apache Spark. Now, developers can analyze movement patterns, spatial relationships directly in their data workflows. And the third partner I'd like to highlight today is Snowflake. Both Microsoft and Snowflake are focused on our customers' success, so when you're using both of our products together, we want to make sure that they interoperate seamlessly. Snowflake has made a massive bet on OneLake as the AI-ready data store, and we're excited to announce a number of features that are going live today. Bidirectional data access from Snowflake to OneLake and from OneLake to Snowflake. Automatic format translation, so both Iceberg and Delta are fully supported. And new OneLake table APIs enabling deep integration with Snowflake's catalog-linked databases, clean, connected, and ready to build. And coming soon, deeper experience integrations making the setup and collaboration between Fabric and Snowflake even more simplified. You can read more about our partnership at a blog that goes live today on aka.ms/Fabric-Snowflake. And this is a blog that was published jointly by myself and Christian Kleinemann, who is the EVP of Product at Snowflake. And Snowflake is not alone in betting on OneLake. All of these partners on this slide support OneLake today, in addition to many more partnerships in the works. Now, my team, the Azure data team at Microsoft, manages over 30 exabytes of data on behalf of our customers. And we're bringing all of the Microsoft managed data to OneLake, whether it's from SQL Server, Azure SQL, Cosmos DB, PostgreSQL, Dataverse, you name it. We're bringing all of the Microsoft managed data to OneLake in the open source formats. And then couple that with 200 plus connectors to different data sources, shortcuts to all clouds, on-premises, AWS, GCP, OneLake is becoming the multi-cloud data lake for the planet. We've also been working very closely with systems integration partners from around the world, because we know that when you're implementing Fabric, you want a partner that has all of the capabilities and can do it quickly and efficiently. Our SI partners are seeing massive customer demand for Fabric and are making really, really large investments. And across the entire partner ecosystem, there are over 135,000 Fabric consultants that are trained on implementing Fabric today. And across our partner community, we have 6,000 organizations, 6,000 partner organizations that are either actively implementing or already have implemented Fabric. And I'd also love to call out our 250 Fabric featured partners. Now you can see it's a very large slide with 250 partners highlighted, and many of these partners are right here today at FabCon. So what does it mean to be a Fabric featured partner? It is partners who have invested deeply in Fabric. This starts with investing in certifications, both the DP600 and the DP700 certifications. It also means that they have many successful Fabric implementations. They've also built really deep relationships with the product team so that they know our roadmap and they constantly give us feedback on how we can make Fabric better. Our partners are also deeply investing in certifying their consultants, and based on Fabric's market momentum, we have already 5 partners that have more than 1,000 individuals who have earned their partner certifications. Accenture is leading the way with more than 3,000 individuals who are already Fabric certified. So I encourage you to connect with all of our Fabric partners this week. They have a designated section in the Ask the Expert section of the Expo Hall. Now, as excited as I am about the technology, we know it's not just about the technology, it's about all of the people. It's about the people that work with data, the data analysts, the data architects, the solution architects, the information workers, and the database administrators and data scientists. And so what's wonderful about Fabric is it really makes it easy for all of these individuals, for the very first time, to be able to work together and collaborate with each other seamlessly, because Fabric brings everything together. And because we know that data and AI is a team sport, we're bringing all of these people together to collaborate. And we know it's incredibly important for us to build the Fabric community. Now, myself and my team, we have been working with the Fabric and SQL communities for a long time, and almost more than a decade. And so we're very excited to see the momentum. We have over 292,000 members of the Fabric community worldwide, over 300 plus user groups in 79 countries. And I highly encourage you to join one of these user groups. As our community continues to grow, if you're interested, please visit aka.ms/Fabric community to get connected with other people who are very passionate about Fabric, who are eager to share with you their learnings and learn from you. Now, this is a community that actively helps each other. Every 100 seconds, a question from a Fabric community member gets answered by another Fabric community member. It's also a community that learns from each other. There are 2 certifications that are both very important for both customers and partners. That's the DP600. Think of that as a foundational Fabric certification, and the DP700, which is a more advanced certification. We have the training materials available for these certifications that is built by the community for the community. And I'm excited to share that for those of you who want to take the DP600 or the DP700 certifications, guess what? For every FabCon Vienna attendee, we're making these certifications completely free. Please take a look at the QR code on the site and take advantage of this opportunity. And lots of people are doing exactly that. I'm excited to share that within the last 17 months, since the certification became live, 50,000 analytics engineers and data engineers have attained the DP600 or the 700 certifications. That makes these certifications the fastest growing certifications that Microsoft has ever launched. So let's now hear from some of the community members. Let's play the video.
Why do I love Microsoft Fabric? Well, let's be honest, I'm a data geek who got tired of playing integration Tetris between 15-20 different tools just to build a simple analytics pipeline. Fabric finally gives me that one-stop shop experience where I can wrangle data in a lakehouse, build some Fabric notebooks, create PowerBI reports, and somehow still have time for my coffee.
And what excites me the most It's the AI and Copilot features. Imagine getting insights faster, smarter, and more empowering for everyone.
It gives you a magic wand that you can transform your data with. I can transform it to a warehouse, or I can use it within my lakehouse, and I can use Python to do magical things.
Microsoft Fabric is poised to be a transformative force in both my career as well as the broader industry.
I'm gonna go with PowerBI. Because with Power BI inside Fabric, I get the freedom to bring creativity into analytics. For me, it's where data meets design, meets business, meets human psychology.
Thank you, Fabric community. Join us.
Hvala Fabric Community! Pridruži nam se!
Tak, Fabric Community! Kom og vær med!
Mulțumesc, comunitatea Fabric. Haideți alături de noi!
Muito obrigado, comunidade Fabric! Junte-se a nós!
Maraming salamat, Fabric community! Sama-sama tayo!
Danke, Fabric Community. Mach mit!
Teşekkürler Fabric topluluğu. Bize katılın.
Bedankt Fabric Community. Kom erbij.
Fala ti Fabric Community. Pridruženi se.
All right. So Fabric, is a major investment from Microsoft. We literally have thousands and thousands of engineers who are working on it every single day. So I'm excited to share a whole slate of new announcements. And to go deeper, I'd like to invite Amir Netz, Technical Fellow and CTO of Fabric, who's going to show you tons of exciting demos. Amir, over to you.
Thank you, Arun. That's me. And we are going to have here a lot of fun. We have tons of news, tons of announcements, and lots of demos. We're going to spend the whole hour just looking at the product. And since it's an hour, we have to break it into 3 parts. So we're going to have the traditional breakdown. The first part is going to be about the platform itself, how we bring all the data services together, how we have a single integrated development environment. The second part, it's going to be all about the data lake, OneLake. And we'll see how we get all the data into OneLake, how we unify the data and all the announcements we have there. And lastly, how we deliver business value to the business users. And this is where Power BI is starring, and we'll see some other surprises. So we'll start with the first pillar, the AI-powered data platform. It's all about bringing all these workloads together. Every data service you have in Microsoft is part of Fabric. You have everything you need for ETL, for analytics, operational databases, real-time intelligence. Of course, Power BI, it's all powered by the OneLake. It's all powered by the Copilot. It's all governed together with the OneLake catalog. And we're going to take a look at that. But one of the most important things about this environment is that it really allows you to build the entire integrated project. So you have one place where you can build the entire project, all the backend services that you need for your application, and you get a unified experience, you get an application lifecycle management, you get Copilot in every experience. And what we've been really focusing over the last year is to really serve those of you here that are professional developers. I think most of you here are in the conference because you're professional developers. So really creating a professional development platform, that is the focus for us. And we have a whole slew of announcements here. So we'll start with the Fabric CLI. One of my favorite features of this year, the command line interface for Fabric. Thousands of you are using it. And it's been GA for a little bit. We are seeing the great adoption. And what we hear is you want even more commands in the command line interface. So what we're doing is we are open sourcing the command line utility. It's on GitHub, and you can go and add your own commands to the command line interface of Fabric. And it's actually, I've seen the demos. You're going to see it in the breakout. It's really easy to add the commands. In fact, you can use AI, Copilot, to actually write the code for you. It's so easy. So very exciting. Now, talking about AI, well, we want to make sure that AI can really help you work with Fabric. So we are adding MCP servers for developers in Fabric. So it means that now your AI can go and create workspaces, create items, manage the entire Fabric. It's also open source. You can go in GitHub and take a look, and maybe you can extend it even further. Lastly, I want to talk about the Fabric Extensibility Toolkit. Now, you heard Arun talks about the ISVs, or the building extensions workloads into Fabric. They're great. They have amazing professional developer teams, and they've been using the extensibility before. But the new version of the extensibility makes it so easy that even if you're not a professional developer, even if you don't have a company that specializes in delivering commercial software, you can build your own items in Fabric. Just like we had custom visuals in Power BI, now you can have custom items in Fabric. Huge playground to innovate, to try things out, and to create unique value for your own organizations. So try it out. We have a whole gallery with examples how you can do that. And again, I've seen the demos. The AI can actually build your new extensions. You can just tell it what you want to build, what you want the extension to do, and it will build it for you. Now, a lot of you have told us that one of the most important things for you in Fabric is that we have a complete CI/CD integration that, no holes, everything is CI/CD enabled. I stood here, not here, it was in Stockholm, a similar stage in the last European FabCon, and I told you that we're going to do that. And at the time, we had about 12 items that supported CI/CD. I'm really excited to say that we don't have 12 items, we have 38 items, 100% of the items in Fabric supporting CI/CD, so Git integration 100%, deployment pipelines 100%, public format for all the items. You can programmatically generate it, it's 100%. And we have a whole set of additional announcements. For example, the variable library is now generally available, and you have CI/CD for network security, and you're going to get all of that. You can see a lot of those additional announcements and demos of those in the breakout sessions. But what I really want to look at is beyond the features and beyond the richness. It's really the experience itself. So I want to bring Aaron to the stage. Aaron.
Hey, Amir.
Hey. So we want to make sure that all of the people here, when they work with Fabric, they have a delightful experience, productive experience. They have to click less, they have to be annoyed much less. So we have a bunch of innovations there.
Absolutely. So if you've joined us before, and welcome to FabCon, you know that the next few hours, the next few days is going to be a whirlwind of innovation. But we're focusing also on a range of subtler improvements to make Fabric more delightful, more efficient, and more productive for developers. We really want it to feel more and more like your favorite IDE. So
sometimes it's small changes, and sometimes it's really big changes.
Oh yeah, we look at the Fabric Ideas Forum, we look at what you say, and we take note of the little things too, because we understand that those small quality of life updates add up, and they make a big difference in the product. Should we take a look at a notebook?
Let's run to them.
Absolutely. So let's say that I am a data engineer building out a lakehouse. We have a new connections experience in the notebook that allows us to access a whole range of features, and this is actually going to look a little familiar.
It's like Power Query. You have kind of the connectivity that you have in Power Query now in the Lakehouse.
Right, so you're going to get some of those data sources, S3, ADLS. In this case, let's connect to an Azure SQL database to pull in some transactions data from an operational database. So I want to join this up with other data, and now in that Lakehouse view, in addition to the Object Explorer, I have code snippets where I can drag that in.
So Fabric just wrote for you over 30 lines of code, just like this, how to work with a SQL database.
Yes, so spat out, parameterized, beautiful. I didn't have to write any of that myself. I could, or maybe I couldn't, but I got it here. I don't have to worry about it. And then I can display that and write it back to my lakehouse. And with one line of code, we'll do that, and then we'll hop back in to see that table fully loaded. And you'll see some goodness there, too.
Okay, so it's writing it, and now let's take a look.
Okay, so in the Lakehouse, you'll see this table, but we're also going to give you the ability for all the data engineers who've been asking for it to open other Lakehouses in the same Explorer. So you don't always have to go and pan around. You can get all of that data in one place. So in addition to the data that I've brought in and queried from my SQL database, I can add my customer data, my inventory data, all of that to that sales Lakehouse and view across a few different places at once. So there's another table. Didn't have to leave.
Yeah, all just in one Lakehouse. You can look at the other Lakehouses. Great. Now what?
So you have the ability to, thank you. You have the ability to download files. There's so much more Justina's going to show you in a few hours. But I skipped over the best part, right? You noticed that tabbed experience.
Have you noticed the tabs on the top? These bluish, tealish, right? This is different.
Yeah,
this is not how we used to switch between things.
Things look a little different, and I'm used to it now. I've been loving it. It feels seamless, but I know for a lot of you it's going to be new. So we're pleased to announce that we have a multitasking experience in Fabric with these tabs now. So it's going to feel a lot more like a browser, like Edge, like your favorite IDE, and you can
code.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go through all of those different artifacts, right? Think about the diagram Arun showed with you have databases, you have data factory, data flows, everything. We can go and pan through them. So let's take a look at that. So in addition to this lake house, we could open another lake house if we wanted to take a look. Maybe our warehouse is propped up here too. We have data there, and you'll learn more about that later today as well. We can tab through these, and it's really easy to have them open up next to each other.
And you can see all the names. But why is the color kind of bluish, tealish kind of?
So you'll see in a bit that that's color-coded for context. So those all correspond to the same workspace, and when I start opening up other workspaces, they're going to be color-coded too, so I can have everything side by side, which we'll see in a moment. But I also want to call out this Object Explorer view. So you can minimize it, you can pin it here, and it really does look like an IDE. Everything's all there at your disposal.
So you don't have to constantly flip between the workspace list and the items. You can actually have the list of items on the side.
Yeah, those days are done. It's all here for you. So we're in a lake house, and I want to show off some more updates, right? So we know about shortcuts. I have this data in here. We're calling in some data from S3 because it's a lake house, right? We want that multi-cloud experience to bring everything together. But this is some dummy data, right? It's just a few rows. Later in my release cycle, I'm going to need prod data. So here, I'm using a variable library for that shortcut to parameterize.
Variable libraries supported on shortcuts now.
Yeah, so they've been supported on shortcuts. They're generally available. We're bringing in all sorts of things, and this is going to let us in the production workspace point to real data.
So you can show us the production workspace?
Yeah, so let's close out a few of these tabs, get things simpler, and then I'm going to open up my production workspace, go check out the deployment pipeline new UX. There's so much there that we have to skip over in the interest of time. But let's say we go and open that up. Instantly, we're going to see a purple workspace join our Explorer.
So now we have two workspaces in the same Explorer.
Yes, they're side by side, and when we start to open up new items in that second workspace, we're going to see that they're color-coded as well. So we can have the two lakehouses open right next to each other, and it's easier than ever to differentiate them and to switch between them because they're color-coded like that.
So the pink ones in the production, the blue ones are the development environment, and you can just have it all open at the same time.
That is
what do you guys
correct.
think?
Well, so thank you. And you'll also see here that this data looks a little bit more real, right? It's not 4 or 5 rows. It's not test data. This is production data because that variable has worked. We're now pointing to a different path in my S3 storage. We see this binding here that we've set up in that production workspace. It's all beautiful, all works, and there's so much more for automation, CI/CD, and the developer experience to make you all feel more productive. I take it we have some developers in the house here today.
So it's really all about making you more productive, more delightful experience. That all the multitasking on the left rail gone. Now you have the tabs. It's really so much better. So we talked about the multitasking for developer productivity. It's really about making you more productive. It's really making it more like an VS Code style environment. And you want to see us continuously investing and making you love the product more. That's the best way to say it. Now, you stay here because we're going to talk about some of the workloads. Okay, so we're going to talk about analytics. This is where we talk about Spark, data engineering, data science. We talk about data warehousing. So we'll start with Spark. And Spark has been around for, from the very beginning. And we've seen amazing momentum for Spark. We are talking about 15,000 customers who are using our Fabric data engineering, data science. Every week, you guys are creating 300,000 new notebooks every week. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and I had to update that number too, right? That one keeps going up.
It grows so fast.
Yeah.
And the performance, we're constantly focusing on performance. 47% in improvement in the performance over the last year. It's just incredible, just in the native execution engine. And one of our customers that is really using Spark and moved from Synapse in Azure to Fabric is Obus. Obus is a Norwegian builder, right? Developer.
Yeah, so you saw some of those updates that I showed in the demo, and we're going to see more. There's so many capabilities here that are taking customers and attracting them to Fabric for that migration.
Yeah, so they migrated 600 notebooks, 87 lakehouses, did it smoothly, and they enjoy such amazing acceleration in the performance, lower costs. We're seeing this movement of a lot of people who use the old Synapse in Azure moving to Fabric, and we're going to see more of those.
Yeah, and we could spend the entire session on Spark, but for that, stay tuned for Justina later this afternoon. We'll give you a few of the updates now.
So we have a whole set of announcements regarding to Spark. So we start with the Fabric environments.
So you know about Fabric environments. They let you customize and consolidate your hardware and software settings across projects. They're GA, and we're thrilled to announce that the automation capabilities with the public APIs are also GA. And coming soon, you're going to see performance improvements that are blazing fast to help with startup times.
So if you're using jar files, you can expect up to 10 times better performance on the jar file configuration of the environment. It's quite significant. Now, Fabric Runtime 2.0, which is really confusing because it really means that we are shipping Spark 4.0 in Fabric Runtime 2.0.
Yeah, so 2.0 for us is 4.0 for Spark, and for Delta, you're going to see all sorts of the latest capabilities come in, from variant data types, identity columns, type widening, and then some more for Spark as well.
Like ANSI SQL by default and pipe support, so a lot of good innovation there. And then 6 months ago, we shipped the materialized lake views, and you guys love it. I know that we're seeing the usage just growing so fast, but we wanted to make it even better.
Yeah, so I remember when I think we were on this stage last time, we announced it, there was so much momentum, people loved it, but there was a user forum where I think someone said, this is great, but we need incremental refresh, and it's your lucky day, SQL Gene, because we have that, and I'm sure a lot of you will be really pleased. We're making it faster. Yeah, thank you. And there's native execution engine support for that too, to make it even spiffier and snappier.
Yep. And I know one feature that you love, because you were working on it, Aaron, was the AI functions in the data wrangler. Aaron, you were responsible data wrangler. You know the AI functions that are in the notebooks now available in the no-code environment of the data wrangler?
Yeah, so we've handed this off to an amazing team, but they brought in, as you know, Data Wrangler, a tool from the developer division to make data transformation easier in this kind of seamless, interactive interface. Now we have AI functions there, so we're not forgetting about AI-powered developer productivity in notebooks. You can choose from a range of tasks like sentiment analysis, there's custom text generation, apply that instantly and get the code in addition to the transformations.
And we have tons and tons of additional data engineering announcements. You can see them here. One of the things that you always told us, you want to see more of the features becoming generally available faster. So we are pushing the gas pedal here to the maximum, so you can see lots and lots of generally available features like the Python notebooks and the Fabric functions in notebooks. So all of that are coming in over to GA, and a bunch of new ones. You see them in the breakout sessions. And then we can just talk beyond Spark and data engineering. We also have the data warehousing. And the data warehousing is something that we've been heavily investing in. It's a great, most modern MPP environment for the largest scale data warehousing. We've been seeing amazing momentum with that. We've been focusing mostly over the last 6 months on better perf, better scale, making sure that you can migrate very easily. So we're talking about 40 different changes for performance improvement. We're going to see the benchmark themselves in just the last 6 months, 36% performance improvement, which is a lot. If you know benchmarks industry, you typically try to shave a couple of percentage a year. 36% is incredible. And the growth, 6x growth over the last year. People are just adopting it left and right.
And that's bringing customers in. So we'll see, for instance, with migrations in a little bit that we're ready for you. And if you want to learn more about that, there's a session, I think, right after this one.
So we actually have the warehouse migration assistant.
Yeah, we're pleased to announce that this experience is now generally available. So go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This is UX friendly. It's AI assisted. Just drop in your DAC pack and you'll go from there.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you. And happy FabCon, everyone.
So if we're working in Spark, if we're working in data warehouses, we are used to having all of our data in tables, which is awesome. We all know SQL, we know how to query the tables. But when you really want to move from data to knowledge, you have to think deeper, because the connection, the relationship between the elements are much more complex. We don't call it knowledge tables. We're calling those things knowledge graphs. And graphs is just a different way to go and model the world. It allows you to have a much more complex understanding of how things are related to each other with multiple hops. So I'm going to invite Tessa to the stage to talk about graphs.
Yeah.
Hey, Tessa. So we have a big announcement.
We do. We're extremely excited to announce we're bringing graph capabilities native into Fabric.
Yeah. Now that's very, very significant. What we've done is, you guys know graphs because you're using social media. So if you use Facebook, you use LinkedIn, they have these social graphs that connects all the users together. And what we've done is, we actually took the same team that built one of the largest social graphs in the world in LinkedIn, and we brought them to Fabric, and they built the Fabric graph.
Yeah, the team has been working extremely hard to bring this graph capability. You can see a little bit, and we're going to get into a demo in a second, but it lets you build graphs directly over data in OneLake. It has low-code, no-code experiences, and really just brings the power of graph to everybody in Fabric.
So you have a demo for us?
We do, yes. So for this demo, we're going to take the scenario of a marketing campaign, and we really want to leverage more than just our normal data. We're going to leverage social network data, but more importantly, we're going to tie it in with our sales and our product data to really find insights and make the best marketing campaign.
And everything just work on the existing data in OneLake, no need to do special ingestion or anything like it.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's see it. So just like anything in Fabric, we start by creating an item, and you'll see the new graph item right here that you can start. Give it a name, and just like that, you're brought into the environment, the experience where you can start modeling. And so the first thing you do is you look for your data, and you go into the OneLake data catalog. You can see all the data available. And in this case, we're going to start with the social network data. I can see all the different tables. I can preview it. And in just a couple clicks, actually load this data directly from OneLake directly into my graph experience.
Now, you have this data. You have to build the graph itself.
Exactly, and building the graph and modeling the graph is just as intuitive. I can very easily select my nodes and edges. So I'm going to start with my person node, and then I'm going to bring in some other nodes, including the posts. And so you see I choose the label, I choose the table, I choose the ID, and just bring it into the experience. I'm going to repeat it again with tags, and then now I have all of these different nodes for my social data into my graph model. But I'm going to take it further and bring in that product and sales data that I mentioned. So I go back to the OneLake data catalog. I'm going to look for my product catalog, again, peek into the different tables, make sure I'm picking the right ones, and in just a couple
clicks, so you can mix match any data you have in OneLake into a single graph.
Into a single graph, exactly. So as I did before, I'm going to pick a product node. I'm going to pick that mapping table I just brought in, choose the right ID, and you can see it's alongside my other nodes.
Now, we have the nodes. We have to create a relation. We call those edges in graph.
Exactly, edges. So we're going to start by creating a self relationship between a person. So person knows a person. And you can see here how I use the edges to build those relationships, exactly as you said. So you pick the different tables, you pick the different IDs, and you start building out this graph model. So I'm going to also connect post to person, give it a more intuitive label, created by. Once again, I pick the right tables, I pick the right IDs, and you can see this graph kind of building up as I'm connecting all these different things. We're going to connect post to tag, and then finally bring in products. So again, this different product sales data, I'm going to connect it with my social network data, and you can see I have my graph, and I can save it and publish it to anybody in Fabric.
It's actually pretty easy. Like, it's very intuitive, right? You can see how everything relates to everything. But there's recursive relationships here, right? And now you really want to start querying the graph. So how do you do that?
Yeah, so the power of graph really comes in the query and the understanding of these different relationships. So I'm going to switch into our query experience. And for this scenario, I want to find a specific person that we're going to use as the seed for our campaign, Pedro Silva. And since he's a person, we're going to start with the person node. And then I'm going to bring in the posts for this particular query, and I'm also going to bring in the tags. And this is going to help me understand if Pedro Silva is really posting the way I want about our Zava products. So I'm going to filter down to the last name Silva, and I'm also going to add that filter on tags to make sure it's just about our Zava products. And very quickly, using this low-code, no-code experience, I have a complete graph query that I can execute, and it's going to run GQL for me. And look, just like that, I have a result in that graph shape.
Super easy. Anybody here can do that,
Anybody,
right?
yes, exactly. Yeah. And so this helped me understand, okay, good, Silva is posting about Zava. This is exactly what I was looking for. But I want to take it further for my campaign and really understand more about his network and understand what products. But I don't know how to write that query myself.
Oh, you have Copilot.
I'm going to use Copilot, exactly. So with I type it in natural language, and it's going to provide that GQL query for me. And just like that, I can execute it and get a much more complex graph-powered result. And you can see here now I have this network and graph understanding what Silva's network looked like and how it can really benefit me and my marketing campaign.
Okay, now we actually want to find the products, right?
Exactly. So I'm going to build on this even further. And so if you remember, I was looking at Pedro Silva and his third-degree connections. But I really want to make sure that this query also has the things like the posts that they've been posting about, the different tags that were there, and actually what products are attached to those posts and those tags. And so very quickly, again, you can see I can go in and out between the query experience. And it, once again, can generate a much more curated result that actually traversed that network, brought in all the different information, and gave me a very tailored result.
But if you want to actually see the product themselves that were tagged,
yeah, exactly. So sometimes this graph exploration is great to help me understand, but sometimes I just want to switch into either the card view or the table view to help me just see the data listed out. So here I switched over to the card view, and I can actually sort it by a specific property, in this case return rate, to help me pick the right products. And just like that, we've leveraged graph. We created a graph model. We really quickly found some insights, all using the new Fabric Graph capabilities.
Yeah. So this is a brand new tool that you have in your toolbox, or toy in your toy box. I think all of you are going to have tons of fun. There's a lot to learn. There's a new language. There's a new way to think about data. But the power you get by navigating those relationships and the ability to do self-joins, essentially, going through the nodes and the edges, it's just so incredible. Okay. Tessa, you're going to stay here because if you don't know, Tessa is also running product for real-time intelligence. So we're going to talk about real-time intelligence, right? And we have quite a lot of momentum with real-time intelligence.
Yeah, we've been seeing a ton of excitement and expect even more with all these new announcements we're bringing here today. But with real-time intelligence, we're seeing that 46% of Fabric customers are already using it for a wide range of scenarios. And that's actually 6x usage growth over the last year.
And one of those customers is from the UK. It's called Iceland Food. It's kind of confusing, but they've been using real-time intelligence, and they've been seeing some really good results.
Yeah, Iceland Foods is a great customer success story. They actually are leveraging real-time intelligence to completely improve their data management platform across all of their different stores, and it's really allowing them to have real-time data-driven decisions, whether it's about their products, their inventory, their customer shopping patterns, and really transform their business operations.
Now, we've been seeing incredible momentum because the whole Fabric is built. Real-time intelligence is built on a fantastic infrastructure. In fact, all of Microsoft is running on the same infrastructure that you have in real-time intelligence. Every cloud service that we have, every website that we have, every device that emits information, every security signal that we have is all being processed by the real-time intelligence stack that we have, and the numbers are just incredible.
Yeah, we use it every day, and as you can see, these numbers are just growing. I think when we showed this in Vegas, it was even a little bit less, but we're talking about 502 trillion messages per month, 12.5 exabytes of data, and 7 billion real-time queries per day with 5 nines reliability. It's amazing. Yeah.
Now, a lot of you have been using the Event House to store all the real-time signals, but it was you had to load the data into the Event House to use it. But we wanted to make it even easier, so we are introducing today the Event House endpoint.
Yes, very exciting. For public preview, we have a new Event House endpoint. And what it lets you do is make it even easier to access that data in OneLake through this KQL super powerful engine. And so the Event House endpoint just gives you one click, and it opens up the same capabilities as if you had connected and brought it into Event House natively.
So just like you have a SQL endpoint to write SQL queries, you're going to have the Event House endpoint where you can write KQL queries. KQL queries are just amazing in handling semi-structured data, in handling signals from telemetry, in handling time series data. It's actually, they have a whole set of constructs in the language for KQL to do that. And so we're seeing a lot of time series data. In fact, almost all the event houses are managing time series data. And typically, when you work with time series data, you want to see that there are normal patterns and there are no anomalies. And this is where we have the second announcement.
Another announcement, yeah. So really any kind of high volume, high granularity data, we make it really easy for you to manage it in real-time intelligence and Event House. And now we're making it even easier to really get those unknown unknowns and find those insights that are very difficult to kind of uncover with the new real-time anomaly detector. So this is also public preview, very excited to share this today. And what it allows you to do is actually very easily connect to your data, and the feature itself actually suggests the right anomaly detection model based off of your own historical data. So not just a one-size-fits-all. We look at your specific scenario.
So typically, anomaly detection you had to be a data scientist because there's a lot of algorithmic complexity, and for the different types of data, different patterns, different algorithms will need to be applied. But with the assistance of the AI, you don't have to do that.
Removes all that, exactly. Makes it easy for anybody to take advantage of it. And then just in a couple clicks, you'll have those anomalies that you can leverage and even subscribe to and kick off workflows when you detect them.
So we have a whole set of additional announcements. I'm not going to go through all of them. Which one is your favorite of all of those?
Oh, there are too many to pick, and actually there's even many more than just this slide. Don't miss our core note later this afternoon with Yitzhak and I, and you can hear all about them.
Thank you so much, Tessa. So let's move to the next workload. We're talking about databases. So we introduced databases just recently, in the less than a year ago, into Fabric, and we shipped the SQL database, we shipped the NoSQL database, Cosmos DB. This is the best of breed databases we have, but our goal when we added to Fabric is twofold. Number one is we really wanted to make sure that you have everything you need in Fabric, every kind of data service, both for transactional processing and for analytical processing. And we wanted to make sure that databases really are reimagined in the world of Fabric. So reimagine the SaaS experience, very, very easy to use. Lights out operation. You don't have to think about how to manage those. We wanted to make sure that they are integrated with all the other data services, but also integrated with OneLake. So all the data will always show up in OneLake, always in open format. And we actually ran a large study to see whether this actually works. And what we found is that really is, this economical study showed that when people use the databases in Fabric, they get 71% better acceleration in completing their task. They have 83% higher confidence that they did their things correctly. So it's really working. In the coming, the next couple of months, we will start announcing that these databases are going to be generally available. And when you take them and you think about, I have transactional databases, I have analytical services in Fabric, what can I do with them together? And we think there's something magical that is called translytical. And translytical is really bringing the power of the transactional databases, the power of the analytics, bringing them together and creating magic. So Patrick, you join me on stage. So, translytical.
Translytical, right? We bring operational and transactional together. And we thought this was impossible.
Yeah. How do you build translation?
So you take some Power BI report, and then you take a SQL database where you store all your data, and then we put a user-defined function right in the middle, and now we have translytical, Amir.
So this is really going to change. I know everybody here has been using Power BI, many for, at this point, for a very long time, many years. And you always think about Power BI as a read-only canvas. It's the only place you can do it that just, you look at data, cross-highlight filter, but it really is just looking at data.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with translytical, it changes.
Absolutely. So I got this big promotion. I don't know if you found out. I'm a CVP of marketing at Microsoft. And we are selling sneakers now. And so we're trying to cross over into this tech audience because we don't know much about tech people. And we're trying to find the right influencer to help us sell this sneaker.
So you have a demo for that.
And so we're going to show you how we did it with translytical and Power BI. So this is a beautiful Power BI report that our team created. And right here, we can see all the influences that, they're on Reddit, they're on YouTube, they write blog posts. You can see that I have some analytics in the report, and I can select different influences, and right in the report, I can choose different people like Mark Price-Mayer and Alex Powers. But you can see, right, we've narrowed this down to this guy named Adam and this guy named Patrick. But there's a problem. There's a problem right there.
Well, there's no bio for those.
There's no bio.
Okay.
How would you go get this? If I was putting together a conference or looking for this, I would go search the interwebs and look for their bios, or spend a whole bunch of time trying to find their bios.
Well, we can build an application for that.
No, we're not building an application. That's 1985, Amir. We're not building an application. And so I'm going to head over to my SQL database where all my data is stored, and you can see I created some tables, I created some views, and I've actually added some stored procedures where I have all my business logic in my stored procedures. And if we run a quick query, I'm going to show you that the data actually doesn't exist.
No bio.
No bios, right?
Okay.
So Amir, you and I have been doing this a long time, right? And so my guess is you're going to go write an update statement.
Update. That's how we do it.
That's not how we do it, Amir. That's not how we do it. That's last century. Or you're going to build an app. We're not going to do that anymore, Amir. What I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce you to user-defined functions. And so in our user-defined functions, I've created a series of user-defined functions. And basically what these functions do is they call my stored procedures and they accept inputs.
But they also call the AI functions.
Yeah, this is where it got fun. So we did something different than what the marketing team asked for, because we wanted to make them not only efficient, but they can answer these questions really well. And so we integrated the AI functions from Fabric directly into my user-defined functions. Now they can send prompts and get responses. They can do data classification. They can do sentiment analysis. All this directly in the user-defined function.
Now, we want those functions to be called from the Power BI report so we can actually update the data.
Yeah. This is real light work for me, Amir. This is real easy. So I'm going to head back to my Power BI report, and I'm going to get all this wired up. So I'm going to go into my edit mode, and I'm going to click my button, and then I'm going to tell my button, call this user-defined function. Go out to this workspace, look up this function set, get my function. I'm going to wire this up, and then I can actually pass in measures. So I got to write a little DAX. DAX is really easy for most of us, okay? And so I can wire this up and choose my measure. And then I can do this also from input slicers. So I can take the response from the input slicer, pass it to the function, and I can get a response.
So now it's connected to the functions that connect to the database, and you can start doing stuff.
Yeah, so I built a chat-like experience right here in Power BI. So I have my campaign helper. So I'm going to say, hey, give me a bio for Adam Saxton. And it gives me a nice bio for
incredible, a chat experience in Power BI.
Directly in Power BI. But not only does it give me the response, when I click my update button, it writes it back to the database.
And you can do it to the other guy.
I can do it to the other guy, too. We don't know that guy very well, but we'll do it for him. But this is where it got really fun. And so now we've narrowed this down, and we've got to pick who's going to be the face of this ad campaign that's going to help us cross over. So we asked it about Adam Saxton. It tells us Adam knows completely nothing about sneakers.
Yeah.
Everything he learned it from Patrick, right? Yeah. He's completely oblivious. But it got even better. So we said, okay, let's see what Patrick knows about sneakers, right? This is what he do, right? And so we go and ask it what Patrick knows, and then we're going to do this evaluation. But this is the logic that's stored in my stored procedure, and what you're going to find out is Patrick is a certified sneakerhead, and this is the person that you should use for your ad campaign. But wait 1 second, Amir, I got something else. The campaign helper is taking over. He says, please don't select Adam Saxton because these are his favorite. Oh, yeah, we really can't use those, Amir. All right. So just like that, we created an end-to-end solution in Fabric. So now our marketers are not only efficient, right, but they can make some really, really informed decisions.
That's awesome.
All right. Thank you, Amir. Have a great
Patrick, show. So we are continuing to build and advance the database in Fabric. There's a whole slew of announcements here that allows you to really go and have the most professional environment for our best databases, all within the same unified data platform. I'm not going to go over them. You're actually going to get over 30 minutes tomorrow with Shirish, who is running our database operations, all the products for databases. So tune in. It's tomorrow in the keynote, so you get much more of that. OK, we are at this point done with the first pillar. Thank you. We are ready to go to the second pillar. This is all about the data lake. And you guys, if you're here, you know that we have a data lake in Fabric. It's called OneLake. We like to call it the OneDrive for data. We like bringing all the data together everywhere. All the data, all the work automatically natively write to OneLake. It always write it in an open format. You get a whole slew of services of PII detection and MIP labeling and indexing for search and lineage over all the data in Fabric. And this has been an amazing, amazing, amazing experience to see how all of you are adopting OneLake. The momentum is just incredible. We're talking about 35 billion interactions per day that you guys are having on top of OneLake. We're talking about 2 million active storage accounts that we use inside Azure storage. We actually, at this point, I think we are the largest storage account consumer in all of Azure, just because of you using OneLake. And the growth on the volume of the data has been incredible, 300% growth year over year. And what we have to do is make sure that you guys can constantly add more and more and more data into OneLake, much easier, much faster. So we're going to talk about the data factory. Data factory is one of the most common ways to get the data into OneLake. And we've been doing ETL, we've been doing data integrations for such a long time. And we've been seeing incredible momentum on the data factory. So every month, we have 22 billion orchestrations that are running. We have 791,000 gateways running on premises, basically allowing you to upload the data from the on-premises systems into the cloud. And one of the customers who have been using it quite heavily is Bayer. Bayer actually using Dataflow Gen 2 in order to do a lot of their analytics, a lot of their data transformation, data integration, and they have been using this Dataflow Gen 2 extensively. And we're going to talk a lot about Dataflow Gen 2 and why it's such a key to success. And if you don't know Dataflow Gen 2, it's actually the most used data integration tool in the world. We have tens of millions of users that are using the Power Query in Power BI and in Excel. We have the data flows that are basically taking Power Query and making it enterprise ready. It's no code, it's incredibly scalable, it's incredibly effective, and we are going to make it even more effective. So I want to have Shireen join me on stage. Hey, Shireen.
Hi, Amir. Hello, FabCon.
So we've been here, we've been sitting on the forums. We hear what you guys are saying.
Exactly.
And one of the things you say, well, we love data flows, the experience, but boy, can you make it faster.
Yes, we've heard that countless amount of times from the community. And data flows and Power Query have been in the market for a really long time. One of the most used ETL platforms in the world. And today I'm about to announce something and an upgrade that we haven't seen in a really long time. So are you guys ready to see some performance updates? Yeah, there you go. So let's get started. Let's play the video. So design time performance is something that is critical to authoring experience, right? It allows you to iterate, author over your experiences throughout the entire course of your life cycle. But the thing is that data previews necessarily take a really long time to refresh. In this example, it takes about 18 seconds to see your data live. That's really slow. That's a long time, exactly. So I'm excited to introduce enable only in previews that is valid starting today. So let's see this in action. So instead of bringing in multiple rows of data, I'm going to hone into a specific subset of data right now. So after I've did my filter step, I'll go ahead and right-click on that new filter I've done, and I can see this new option called Enable Only in Previews. I'll select it. I'll see the ribbon at the top that it's inactive, and now when I actually go refresh my data preview, look at that. That dramatically went down from 18 to only 3 seconds.
That's a huge productivity enhancer.
Exactly. So now I can go and iterate over my feedback immediately, and I can see those transformations extremely faster as well.
People want more than just design time performance improvement. They actually want the actual queries, the actual processing to work faster in production.
Right. Execution performance. Another proper feedback that we've heard from you, and we're excited to announce incredible enhancements. So as you can see here, we're running a baseline New York City taxi cab data set. And on the left-hand side, you see Dataflow Gen 2 with no performance enhancements. But today, I'm excited to introduce the new modern query evaluator that runs with Dataflow Gen 2. So let's see how quickly and dramatically we see those differences. So the left, we see the no performance enhancements. In the middle, we're seeing modern query evaluator with the Dataflow Gen 2. And you can already see that's incredibly faster, 40 to 50% faster in runtime. And on the right-hand side, we're running the same new modern query evaluator, but with parallelism and partitioning support. And look at that. That went down by 400%.
It's just incredible. You think about it. The same query, until yesterday, it was running 50 seconds. Yeah. We added this modern query evaluator, and then we added on top of that parallelism. Now you get it 5 times faster.
Exactly. So with the modern query evaluator, you're already seeing costs and runtime immediately go down. But with this, it's incredibly faster.
Let's quantify it a little bit. So here are two benchmarks that we actually run. Yeah. In the first one, you actually see here the green bar is Dataflow Gen 1. And that's all the wall from the Power BI days, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Dataflow Gen 2, which was already faster. But then we added the query evaluator.
Modern query evaluator. You can already see that decline in performance. And that's just with the modern query evaluator.
Way, way faster. And then we add parallelism on top.
Parallelism and partitioning support. And look at that drop. Isn't that dramatic? Yeah, it is. I would urge you guys to try it out today.
So it's more efficient. It runs much faster. But we are not satisfied with that. We also want to make sure that it cost you less, that the load you put on your capacity is much less than what you've seen today.
Exactly. So with these performance enhancements, you're already seeing much more cost-effective solutions. But today, I'm excited to announce even dramatic cost, cutting solutions for data flows at baseline. So as you can see in this diagram right over here, on the left-hand side, we see how you were charged before with that initial CU hours with 16 CUs. But now you're going to see with every single query, the first 10 minutes, that drops by 25%. And anything over 10%, 10 minutes, you're going to see up to 90% decrease in costs, which is dramatic. We've heard from you guys, and we've implemented this.
So much less load on the capacities when you the new Dataflow Gen 2.
Yeah.
And we have a whole other set of announcements related to data flows. One of the things that strikes me is this whole set of new destinations that you can actually transfer
Exactly. That's probably my favorite one, because now what we are looking with data flows is you can support Microsoft and non-Microsoft data destinations that's supporting. And along with that, of course, these are not only the announcements that we're releasing this week. If you're interested to learn more about what we've talked about right now and even more, I would urge you guys to look at the Data Factory CoreNet right after this with Faisal.
Thank you so much, Irene.
Thanks, Amir. Have a great FabCon.
Okay, using the data integration is one way to bring the data into OneLake, but we know that one of the favorite features when it comes to OneLake is not building ETL packages, but actually using the shortcuts and the mirroring that we have in OneLake. And this is something that has been an amazing success. It's just so easy to get the data from wherever it is in any cloud, on-premises, any database system that you have. We've been seeing massive adoption. One of those is James Hall, a customer that we have in the US. They actually use the open mirroring to basically mirror from on-premises data nearly 500 million rows, and it powers about 30 reports for 400 users. And they just cut the time to see the latency. Now, how quickly you can see the latest results. It cut it from hours to minutes just by using the open mirroring. It's quite incredible. And when we ask you, what do you want us to add to the mirroring, to the shortcuts, the number one answer is, we want more sources. We want to be able to connect to more systems. So we are very happy to announce today that we have 2 sources that we are bringing to generally available, which is the Azure SQL Managed Instance and the Azure Blob Store. These are generally available. And we have 2 amazing, so popular databases that now we have a public preview for their mirroring. It's the Oracle databases that you can now connect to on-premises and Exadata and regular Oracle databases. And Google BigQuery, you can mirror Google BigQuery, you can mirror the Oracle database directly to OneLake. And as usual, it's part of the service. It's free. So very, very excited about these. And to talk more and to show us more about shortcuts and mirroring, I'm going to have Josh join me on stage. Hey, Josh.
Thanks, Amir. Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So, shortcuts.
Yeah, shortcuts. There's been tons of excitement about shortcuts. About 6 million have already been created and are actively used. But do you know shortcuts can actually get better?
They can get better. OK, how does it get better?
Well, traditional shortcut is just a pointer to data. So what you see is what you get. But sometimes what you see is not exactly what you want.
So you want to actually point the data through shortcuts and actually see the data in OneLake, not as it was in the original form.
Exactly. So now, with shortcut transforms, you can just do a few clicks and get that last mile transformation, get the data exactly in the form that you want.
So you just point it, say, I want this transformation. I don't have to create notebooks. I don't have to create ETL packages. But I get the data actually transformed in the shortcut process itself.
Just as easy as creating a shortcut.
So we have a bunch of transformations that we have on the shortcuts, right?
So we actually are announcing 2 new ones today. So Parquet to Delta, as well as JSON to Delta, join the CSV to Delta transform that's already been out. And this goes along with a whole handful of AI-infused transforms that are already available.
So you can use AI to actually make that change for us. And now, we get the data through mirroring, through shortcut into OneLake, and then all the engines of Fabric can use it.
Correct. So mirroring is how we bring in external data. All right? Once it's in OneLake, it can be used by all Fabric engines, but not just Fabric engines. So to get the data out, when we released OneLake, it already had all the storage APIs, the blob and DFS endpoints, so it was compliant with all storage applications out there. But today, we're making actually an announcement where we're increasing this compatibility with a new OneLake table API. This gives you an Iceberg or Delta standard catalog right on top of that data. So now all Iceberg or Delta compliant applications can automatically work with the same data, in addition to all storage applications that know how to talk to blob or DFS.
So Iceberg compatible applications can connect to OneLake, to the table APIs, and they actually get an Iceberg catalog API, and they can instantly see the metadata of all the tables, instantly represent it in theirs, and read it with 0 copy.
Exactly. Really increasing the amount of compatibility with this data. You want to see?
Yeah, let's go and see it.
I need to get a 360 view of my customer. And that's traditionally very difficult. So really because it's spread out, data's living in a bunch of places. Here I have a few tables living in Google BigQuery. But I wish that was it. There's more sitting in an on-prem Oracle database. I have several different tables here. Again, this is not it. We have more customer data now sitting in an Amazon S3 bucket.
And this is different. This is not tables. These are actually text files representing emails.
Yeah, not all data has to live in tables. But with mirroring, I can bring all this data in. So here you see the task flow view within my workspace. My Google BigQuery data is here with my Oracle data. With some other mirrored data, I can go into the Google BigQuery mirroring. I can see, this is coming from an internal storage system in BigQuery, so we're replicating that data out, but we're landing it in an open file format. That means once it's in OneLake, it all works the same. So here, I have a lakehouse where I've modeled my BigQuery data with my Oracle data. And now it works with every Fabric engine. So here I'm joining across clouds. I'm joining on-prem to BigQuery.
Oracle is on-prem, BigQuery is in the cloud, and we're doing the joins between them.
And we get one
awesome.
result.
Now, what about that other type of data that we have?
The other type of data, the non-table data.
Yes.
I can use that too, but this data here, we have a shortcut to it in S3. And again, what you see is what you get. So what I get is a bunch of emails. These are support emails.
Like, we want to join these emails and their sentiment to know whether people are happy with us or not.
Yep. So it's a customer support case. And again, I'm getting the actual emails here. But I'm going to create another shortcut. And we're going to do something a little bit different this time. So instead of creating the traditional shortcut, you'll see something else happens. And you can layer these on top of each other. So I'm layering right on top of that S3 shortcut. We see the same emails. But I'm given some options. I can infuse AI right on top of this data right here. I can do translation, I can do text summary, I can do PII detection. In this case, I'm going to go and do sentiment analysis.
So it will actually evaluate each one of those emails, give us a sentiment, and
see.
And then it's not just creating text files for us, it's actually creating a table with a sentiment.
Right, so I'm ending up with a table here. I have a row for each of the files that were there. I can see the text, I can see the sentiment score, whether it's positive, negative. All my customers are happy, except for a couple there. But once I have that table, it's a table. Yeah. I can join it together. I can see it with the Oracle data. I can see it with the BigQuery data. I can see it with my Fabric data.
So now it's a join between the S3 data and the GCP data and the on-premises data all together in one place.
All in one place, all in one lake.
Now, if I want to see this data not in Fabric, I want to use, I have a Snowflake in my organization. I want to share the data with Snowflake.
Yeah, so with the new table API, this increases our compatibility, and now we're compatible with every single Iceberg application out there, like Snowflake. So instead of putting in the storage endpoints, I put in the new table API endpoint. I can point this to my lakehouse, my semantic model, any data that's in OneLake.
This is Snowflake. If you don't recognize the icon, right? It's Snowflake.
Yeah, and we're actually using their database link feature here. And what that does is it synchronizes the metadata between the two services. So you see the exact same field list here in Fabric and the same set of tables over here in Snowflake. These will stay in sync automatically, and we're just syncing metadata, so the data is still one copy. And here I can see the same AI-infused table here coming from the shortcut with the sentiment analysis. And I can do that same join across BigQuery, Oracle, and the AI S3 data, get that same result.
Now, as the data is being updated, let's say I'm adding more emails to my organization. Yep. What happens?
It's shortcuts. So in shortcuts, you expect to see the new data. And nothing's different here when we have the transform. So I get new emails. And let's see what happens, actually. So you'll see I had 113 rows in that sentiment table before. Just rerun the query. I'm not running any pipelines. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just rerunning the query. And now we have almost 2,000 rows. So new data flows in. You're going to see it anywhere this data is used, whether that's Fabric, whether that's Snowflake, or any Iceberg-compliant application.
It's just incredible to see how Snowflake now supports OneLake end-to-end. They're actually even storing data into OneLake.
Yeah, you can actually natively store your Snowflake data right in OneLake today.
That's awesome. So you guys are using OneLake, and you sometimes want to say, hey, I want to know more about what's going on under the cover. I want to diagnose some stuff. I want to understand the usage. So we have an announcement there as well.
Yeah, so a very popular feature of Azure Storage to do auditing and analysis of your usage has been storage diagnostics. It's been missing from OneLake, but today we're announcing OneLake Storage Diagnostics. And it's compatible with the storage feature, but it's a little bit different because we're not just looking at one storage account. You're looking at your entire data estate here. So that includes all the data you're storing in OneLake, but also it includes all the data you've shortcutted in, all the data you mirrored in. You can see who's used it, where they used it from. You can see where it originally came from if it is a shortcut. Really comprehensive set of information directly on top of your data within OneLake.
And you are also responsible for OneLake security, and we have an announcement on OneLake security, which is related to the OneLake catalog.
Yeah, so now the OneLake catalog has a new secure tab where you can actually view your security all in one place, not just view it in one place, but also change it, set it, manage it all in one place. And we'll have a demo tomorrow in the day 2 keynote.
So this is actually very important because it used to be that if I want to change the security on an item, I had to go to the workspace, open the item, change the security. You don't have to do it anymore. The Secure tab in the OneLake catalog is going to handle end-to-end security for all the items in OneLake in one place. And this is actually very important because everybody here is using OneLake catalog, and you're not the only one. It's the most used catalog in the world by far. Like, we're talking about 30 million users that are using it day in, day out, because it's everywhere. It's in Excel, it is in Teams, it is in Fabric, it's everywhere, and 230,000 organizations have active users of that. So that's a big deal.
Crazy.
Okay, thank you so much,
thank
Josh. Talking about security, we've been investing heavily in security. So we started Fabric. We really had the security centered around the tenant level. We got a lot of feedback saying, hey, we need to be able to manage security separately for different projects and different workspaces. So there's a whole slew of announcements that we are having today, how we lower the granularity of the security settings to the workspace level. So the outbound trusted workspace access is GA today, and later this month, the Azure private links and the outbound access protection, all of that at GA. And you're going to hear much more about security and governance tomorrow in the keynote from Kim and her team. So just make sure that you show up because we have a whole packed session there. Okay, we're done with pillar number 2, which was OneLake, and we are getting to pillar number 3, which is all about the business users delivering value to the business. And this is where Power BI shines. And Power BI has been, has been around for a while. How many of you are using Power BI? A lot, right? Yeah. It's been an amazing journey with Power BI. The growth we are seeing is just incredible. We're talking about 550,000 organizations that are using Power BI at this point. Over 7 million developers are there building reports, building semantic models. Over 34 million Power BI users are using Power BI every month. It's just incredible. And as you probably heard, Power BI turned 10, and I think it's worth to hear from you guys on the community. How do you feel about it? So let's take a look.
Happy birthday, Power BI.
I'm now a director of a company that specializes in Power BI consulting and training, so it's had a massive impact on my career.
Power BI has absolutely transformed my career. I never would have thought I would be running a user group, speaking at international events and being able to connect people who also love working with Power BI with other people that love working with Power BI.
My favorite thing has been the community. From joining the Saturday morning learning crew, #SML, meeting the product team and other MVPs, it has formed relationships that I know I will have for life.
Those memories remind me that data isn't just rows and visuals, it's people.
The Power BI community is a great place to learn, share ideas, and connect with people. So thanks for 10 great years, and here's to 10 and many more.
Power BI has changed how we do business intelligence. I'm really looking forward for the next 10 years and record this video again.
It's been a great journey, and I'm really proud to be part of this community and to see what's next.
Un saludo muy grande para todos y espero vernos en el siguiente aniversario.
I wasn't supposed to work with data at all because I studied marine technology, but then I completely fell in love with the data community and the Power BI community. So let's celebrate this day and let's see what the next 10 years will bring. Happy birthday.
Happy 10th birthday, Power BI.
So happy birthday, Power BI. It's been a fabulous 10 years.
So, just love seeing the community coming together. It's one of the things that is most gratifying for me is just to see how many lives were touched by Power BI over the last decade. And all of you, many of you here, we were not in even the data space before Power BI came about. So we're in Power BI. We have reports. You all build reports, and under every report there is a semantic model. Semantic models are really the heart of Power BI. They really represent what the data means, the entities, the relationship between the entities, the measure that tells us how we measure ourselves, how to know we're doing well or not doing well. All of that in semantic models. We've been doing it for a while. It's at the heart of Power BI. And now it's even more important because actually the way for the AI to understand our business is to work with the semantic models. Anybody who tried to use AI directly on top of just raw databases, it's a failure. That nobody has been able to succeed with that. But when you have the AI working on top of the semantic model, we are seeing great results. Now, modeling those semantic models is something that you typically did on the desktop, and we know that we heard from you that it's not enough. So I want to invite Uni to the stage. Uni? Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah.
Hi, Amir. Good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Okay.
Hi, Vienna.
So, a lot of people here have been doing modeling for a very long time, but some of them don't have a Windows PC.
Yeah, and I know semantic model is super important to us, right? That's the best way that we can get all of our business logic into our data. But there's been a community of users that have been asking us to bring the full power of Power BI to them, and those are our Mac users. Now, I know web modeling has been around for a little bit. There's been web modeling in preview, and we've heard the feedback that there are still some features in desktop that aren't available in service, and that's why I'm so excited to announce what the team has been working so hard on, and that's web modeling is now finally generally available.
And it's the whole of web, it's the whole of modeling. It used to be that you can do some things, you can edit existing models in the web, but there were some limitations. You cannot create a new model.
Yeah.
You didn't have the Power Query. There were so many things that were missing.
I'm talking end-to-end, Amir, from getting the data, transforming the data, doing the semantic modeling, putting it in the report, all of it. So I don't know if I can hold my excitement anymore. I think we might just have to take a look.
Okay, let's take a look.
So you can see that the create page actually looks a little bit different now. We have the OneLake catalog button, and this is where, Amir, I can create direct lake models directly here in the web. And it's as easy as ever, right? We love direct lake models, the blazing fast performance, no data duplication, no need to manage refreshes. I can just select the lakehouse that I want, grab my tables, and boom, it's just going to be loaded right here in my model. But
you select the tables, and then once you have the tables, you can build relationships.
That's right. We can do relationships and we can create measures. So let's start with relationships. I can just do the same experience that I love in desktop, right? I'm going to grab the table. I'm going to just do click and drag for the columns that I'm interested in. I'll just double check that everything looks right and click save, and that's it. As easy as that.
You can have the large models.
You can have a large model. And so let's fast forward. I've created a fairly large model here with all my relationships. Of course, creating measures, similar to how I have in desktop, I can create them one by one. Or we're also super excited to announce that we now have the DAX query view available in web as well. So here, So here, I can do all of my measures in bulk. And I know Patrick said that DAX is kind of easy for a lot of us, and for some of us, it's not super easy. So we're super excited to announce that Copilot for DAX Query View is also now generally available.
That's awesome. Now, direct lake is one thing, but if I have other data, it's not in the lake, how do I edit in?
So, you can continue to add data from your OneLake catalog here, but take a peek at that Get Data button that's new in the web. So this is where, Amir, I have that familiar Power Query experience directly here in the web. So here's the view that I know and love, hundreds of connectors. I can choose where I want my data to come from. Let's say that I had weather data sitting in my OneDrive, and I want to see if weather is impacting my sales. So I can just grab that file straight from my OneDrive. And here, Amir, I can actually do transformations in Power Query directly from the web, too. I can promote my rows to column headers. I can even create custom columns. So here I am creating a new zip code column, again, directly in the web. And that's it. Now I have that import model in my import table in my model next to all the data from my lakehouse.
Import and direct lake, all just done in the browser.
That's right. And I can also create all the relationships between these import tables and direct lake tables directly here in the web as well.
So everything I used to for the desktop is now available.
Everything end to end. And now I can also do reporting here too, right? So here I have my report already connected to that semantic model that I created. There are all the fields that I know and love. And this is the clicky, draggy, droppy experience that I know and love, right? So creating all my visuals. And here I am creating a button slicer. And remember, the button slicer is really exciting because I can also do image configuration for these buttons.
And a lot of people love the button slicer and said, can we make it GA so we can use it everywhere?
That's right. Well, that's my one last GA announcement that I have for this section, is that now that the button slicer is generally available.
Yes.
But there's one more visual, right, Amir, that people have really been liking, and that's our new card visual. And we're working really, really hard to bring you that generally available really soon. And remember, because all of this was in a web, once we zoomed out, all of this was done on a Mac.
Yeah, you look at that. That's the Mac now. You're doing
that's
all
right.
the work
This
on the
is
Mac.
for all you Mac users.
Yes. So you're building those reports. And those reports are, we're packaging it into applications, but we know that the consumption patterns are changing. Lots of people that used to go and just browse reports with the pages, slicing and dicing, are getting a bit antsy, like they've seen what's happening in the web. In the web, you used to go and search for stuff, 10 blue links, click on the link, go read the website. Now we just go to ChatGPT or any other AIs and just ask the question. We trust the AI to go fetch the data for us.
That's right.
And we think the same thing is happening with BI as well.
That's true. And one way that we kind of have that curated content available in Power BI is actually through apps. And that's the best way for folks to get access to kind of sets of data that's already available to them.
We want to enable to all the people who consume data only through apps to enable the full Copilot experience.
That's right. Did you know that actually a third of our Power BI users use Power BI exclusively through apps? So we wanted to make sure that we are meeting users where they are. And so we're super excited to announce that Copilot in Power BI apps is now in public preview. So
what it means is the Copilot only works on the reports and the data sets and the semantic models that are part of your app. It doesn't look outside. So you have full control about what the AI will return.
That's right. So should we take a look to see all of that in action?
Yeah, let's take a look.
So let's put ourselves in the shoes of a Java sales analyst that just started, and my BI team has published beautiful reports for me here in my app. You can see there's kind of a lot going on here, and to jumpstart my experience, I can actually use that new Copilot button that's available in apps. And that's going to bring up the familiar Copilot experience that I know and love. This is where I can ask for summaries about customer sentiment, for example, and it will return me that beautiful summary experience that I know and love. All the rich text, the beautiful visuals.
And I just love how it looks like. It looks like a newspaper article.
It does. It really does. And you'll see that it's all paragraph by topic too. But we know how much people have been loving the summary feature, and so we actually wanted to make sure we support filtered summaries too. So since we're in the beautiful country of Austria, let's ask for a filtered summary on Austria. And this time, Copilot's going to return me a summary just with Austria. And this visual is still helpful, right? Because I can see how Austria is doing against the rest of the countries. And actually, because these Power BI visuals, fully interactive, I can scroll down, click in, and I actually see that Vienna has the lowest average sentiment score, so I might need to come back and listen to our customers and see what's going on. But Copilot is more than just summaries, right? So this time, let's ask a data question. And with the data questions, I'll ask which Java product has the highest rating, and this time, Copilot is going to return me a verified answer. So all of the tooling that my model authors are setting for me in Copilot are supported here as well.
So you have full control on the models that the AI will use, on how they will behave. And also the user gets here more than just the answer. They can actually, if I'm in old school, I want to slice and dice the data, I can do that here.
That's right. If I wanted to change the visual to not look at comfort score, but maybe sentiment score, I can actually do that right here in Explore. So I can change the data that I'm looking at. I could add filters. Again, because this visual is fully interactive, I can just even right-click and exclude. And of course, any visual that I'm creating in Explore, I can save and share with just a click of a button. Super easy, right?
Yeah, super easy. Now, typically in my application, we have lots of reports. Sometimes we've seen applications that have dozens of reports in them.
That's right.
And if I want the AI to help me find the right report, because I do want to look at the report, what do?
So Copilot can help you search for your reports within your apps as well, right? So, and remember, it's going to keep me within the context of this app. So if I search, let's say I wanted to learn more about, let's say, Java inventory. I'm going to ask, can you find me some reports have inventory data? And it's going to return me the reports that are just published within this app. So again, keeping me fully in the context of the app. And of course, that means the data questions that I ask, again, still in the context of my app. And if I click to look at any of these reports, again, it's going to navigate me, still keeping me within the app experience.
That's really great. What do you guys think about Copilot in the app? Thank you, Uni.
Super exciting stuff. Thanks, Amir.
OK, so if you want to hear more about Copilot, more about AI, what's the latest in the field, you should tune in tomorrow. We have the third part of the keynote is going to be about AI and Copilot. Marco is going to talk and show us some amazing, amazing demos. Now, the last visual we saw, the last report, was a map. You saw some maps, and we've had maps for a while, and we hear your feedback that you want to do more things with map, that the maps that we have are a bit more rudimentary. So if you want to build apps that are really centered around geography, then we are going to help you build maps with maps in Fabric. So talk more about what does it mean maps in Fabric. I'm going to have Carleen join me. Hey, Carleen.
Hello, Amir. Great to see you. Hello,
OK, so we're not just adding or improving the visual in Power BI. We're doing something a bit special.
Yes, Amir. So we're super excited about Maps. We are announcing it in public preview as of today. So the ability to really start visualizing that location-based information.
So this is very, very interesting because this is actually a new item in Fabric.
Correct.
And it's a new item that is really designed not just to show you data on the map, but to show you data with real-time data on the map. And you actually see the movement.
Or an event house, I can show you if you have some time.
Yeah, let's take a look.
All right, let's take a look. So we're going to get started in our Fabric workspace. And as you can see from the drop-down list, we have a brand new item called Maps. And Amir, I'm going to show you how easy it is to build a map-centric application without writing a single line of code. So to get started, we're going to take a look at some historical data. So what I'm doing here is just connecting to a lakehouse that obviously contains a data set with some geospatial data. And so just like the previous demos, I work at a company called Zava, and the first thing I want to do is visualize my distribution location worldwide. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to show it on the map, and just like that, I have my locations, but I also want to add the distribution line, so I have an idea for my
you can actually add those routes on the map.
I add those to the map very quickly and very easily. And so what I can do here now is really customize that map to make it look and feel the way I want it. If I want to change the scale, I want to make it more visible for folks in the room, so I change it to hybrid. So all super simple. So in this case, I'm going to zoom in, and we're obviously ensuring that the zooming and the rendering remains on point. Now I'm going to add a larger data set. So let's say that I want to look at the revenue aggregated by district for Austria. So I am going to zoom in onto Austria, and you're going to see the beautiful representation of revenue per district in Austria.
Now, look at the 3D element. That's so nice. And there's a big peak here.
There is an
this
outlier.
is Vienna, right?
It's Vienna. So we're going to double-click on that just to understand what's happening. And so for the little backstory, we just launched a promo campaign at Zava. And so we are going to take a look at all of that data streaming into our event house to understand how that promo is going as the campaign rolls out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm connecting to my event house. And rather than just seeing dots appear on a map as folks are making these orders online, I'm going to run a KQL query. And I'm going to cluster the data into hexagon formats. So that's really going to enable you to visualize that data coming in at high volumes. I'll make sure I'm refreshing it regularly. So let's hit next. And then I'm going to show you, again, the customization that you can do in this map. So let's just turn it into a dark scale mode so you can see it from the back of the room. We'll remove our aggregated sales revenue. And then you're going to see these beautiful hexagons flow in based on how our campaign's doing.
As orders are coming in, we're going to see where in the city these orders are coming in and concentrated into hexagons.
Exactly. So much more visible than just having these dots appear, right? And so the height of the hexagon represents how many orders are, or how many orders are being made in a single order. So a really cool way to visualize that data and really understand it as it flows in.
So we see where the orders are coming from, and now we have to deliver from the store into those locations, right?
Exactly. And as you can see, it's a pretty successful offer. And so our logistics team has their work cut out. So if we take a step back now and zoom in on the logistical supply chain, if you will, this is my dispatcher. They've already uploaded the maps, so you see all of these little routes appear. And what we're going to do now is, again, connect to an event house, because obviously I want to track my fleet. I have GPS data coming in.
So every truck that delivers reports a GPS location to the event house.
Exactly.
In real time, so we can actually track them in real time on the map.
Exactly right. So again, like just making sure that the settings are set accurately and that we are refreshing every 5 seconds. And just like that, I'm going to be able to have an overview of my fleet, delivering packages to happy customers just like that right into Fabric.
And I see they're all driving to the same location. What's going on there?
So that's my main Zava retail location here
going home,
in Vienna. So everybody's going home. Now, wouldn't it be cool to see what the impact is of the campaign in my retail store?
So we actually can zoom. We started the world. We went to Austria, then to Vienna, and then we're actually going down into the store level.
Actual store, and we're going to track the footfall of customers. So imagine those white dots. These are my customers at the opening of the doors. The campaign is a huge hit, and so we can kind of like track the footfall. Now, I want to elevate the insights that I'm getting from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate a heat map view, which is going to turn these white dots into a lot more insightful visualization. And then I'm going to add a dwelling factor to the points so that I can actually analyze how long certain customers are spending in a certain aisle, which banner is being more successful than others. And so this really gives me a total new aspect to visualizing data right in Fabric.
All in real time.
All in real time.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thanks, Amir.
Maps in Fabric, guys. And this is actually the last demo of the day. We kind of took a whole tour end-to-end of all the 3 pillars, all the workloads, the OneLake and the Copilot and the governance, all of that. And at this point, I'll hand it over to Arun.
Right. Thank you so much, Amir. As you can see, tons and tons of innovation. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to take a quick look at what you can expect over the next few days. We have over 130 data and AI sessions lined up for you, and much, much more. So if you want to understand all of these sessions, go to aka.ms/fabconeu-schedule so you get a complete list of offerings. Tomorrow, we have an incredible lineup of speakers for a day 2 keynote, so please don't miss it. You'll want to hear from Jessica Hawk, Shirish Tota, Kim Manis, and Marco Castellana, along with several others who will bring the latest innovations in Fabric with live demonstrations. And before we close, I'd like to announce a 3rd annual Fabric Community Conference. After the start of the year, we will be hosting FabCon back in the US in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you. And at the end of next September, we will be back in Europe hosting FabCon in Barcelona. So I'm super grateful for everybody who joined us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful FabCon. Thank you.